25 predictions for the 2025 season and an in-depth look at all of those position groups still to come in a loaded hour of BYU Sports Nation. So because there are so many, we've broken it into two groups. We're going to do half offense and then defense and special teams. Jarom, there's a lot to get
25, let's go. I can't wait in 2050 for this to be 50 predictions.
Yes, and then there are some just overall predictions like what BYU's record will be for the season. And we start our predictions right there. Last year, 11-2. What is it going to be this year? If you've been paying attention over the last 2 months, you probably already know our answer, but let's answer it officially again.
I've actually changed mine by one game. I have
Really?
changed mine by one game. We've talked a lot about 8-4. That feels very comfortable given the ramp up, how tough the second half of the schedule is, true freshman quarterback, and so on and so forth. But I am buying into this BYU team. I'm buying into the fact that Bear Bachmeier can lead BYU to places they haven't gone, maybe with a true freshman of 4. Give me 9-3, Spencer.
Wow.
BYU 9-3. The reason they're not 10-2 like last year is true freshman quarterback. Maybe there's a game that you lose that you would have won. I don't think they get 29 takeaways again. I think that was an incredible number. But give me 9-3. It is ambitious. It is probably blue-goggled, but I am in on it.
Holy cow. What has happened? Why are we here and I'm about to give you my season projection and it's lower than Jarom? It's 8-4. I'm giving more patience and grace to a true freshman quarterback. And because the back half of the schedule gets really, really difficult with Utah, at Iowa State, at Texas Tech, and then we don't know what TCU is going to be. So because I have some trepidation about the back half of the schedule, even if BYU's 5-1 in the first 6, which I think they will be, it's great. They'll be nationally ranked. I think they'll go 3-3 in the back 6. If they're 6-0, however, Jarom, then I would join you on that 9-3 plane. It has to be 6-0 in the first 6 for me to feel comfortable about BYU going 9-3 because that back half is super difficult.
And frankly, I knew you were probably going to go 8-4, so I wanted to be different. And I didn't think 7-5 was the ticket, so that's part of this. Let's be honest. Okay, Big 12 record.
5-4. I think they'll have a winning record. I don't see BYU stumbling in non-conference. And if I'm saying 8-4, they're 3-0 in non-con. You do the math. 3 + 5 is 8.
I can even do that, man.
I would love to see 6-3 in conference, but again, I feel like the key there is can BYU start Big 12 play 3-0 with wins against Colorado, at home against West Virginia, and then can they go on the road and keep Kalani's perfect record against Arizona alive and be perfect through the first half of the season? That's the key to going 6-3 in the Big 12 for me, is starting 3-0.
6-3 is the number for me. 3-0, 6-3, 9-3. That's the record. I think either Iowa State or Texas Tech will not be as good as people think.
What will 6-3, if the Cougars have that mark at the end of the regular season, be in the Big 12 standings? I'm inclined to believe that will be one game out of putting them in contention to get to a Big 12 championship game. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's so much parity. Again, that 7-2 is probably going to be the mark if you want to be in contention to get to Dallas and play in that conference championship.
If you're 8-1, 9-0, you are in.
All right. Okay, I particularly love this one and probably spent the most time on this yesterday trying to figure out where I believe BYU will be in a bowl game and their opponent. Of course, they had that unique setup with the Alamo Bowl last year and the Pac-12 still having their tie-in, which still exists this year as well. Yep. So thought for a second about maybe BYU Arizona State in an Alamo Bowl could be fun, but didn't settle on that. I'll ask you first, Jarom. Where do you have BYU playing in the bowl season and against who?
Liberty Bowl for the first time since 2001 versus Ole Miss.
Wow.
January 2nd. It'll be the second January bowl game for BYU ever.
That's a juicy matchup.
It'll be a fun one, right?
Ole Miss, BYU in the Liberty Bowl, but that's like a de facto home game for Ole Miss almost if you got to travel all the way to Tennessee. It would be fun to exercise some demons there, right, for BYU to do something positive in that bowl game specifically. So I like that pick.
We're going to go tackle-eligible Dustin Record again.
Okay. Jarom, I am settling on the Texas Bowl.
Nice.
BYU Texas A&M in the Texas Bowl. It's Big 12 versus SEC, and typically it's 4th or 5th place Big 12 team against the 7th, 8th, or 9th place team in the SEC. BYU, Texas A&M, they also have some previous bowl game ties with the Holiday Bowl. BYU could exercise some demons against the Aggies in a bowl game scenario.
Let's go. Okay, what's the best win of the year going to be?
I think it's going to be at Texas Tech. I like BYU to go to Lubbock, and here's why. It's after a bye. I trust in the coaching staff, and specifically Jay Hill, to get that defense ultra prepared for what we think is going to be a very talented, fast, dynamic Texas Tech offense. 2 weeks to prepare for the Red Raiders, and Andy Reid's going to be in the house reportedly. I don't think BYU's
with
losing
Pat
in front
Mahomes,
of
question mark?
Coach Reid. And yeah, let's win one for the Gipper for Coach Reid if he makes the trip down to Lubbock.
Give me Utah October 18th. The streak continues. Utah hasn't beaten BYU since 2019. We keep it going, baby. Utah October 18th in Provo. It's going to be crazy.
See, I thought about that, but then I didn't want to give Utah credit for being the best win.
Well, if Utah's very improved and it's another rivalry win,
it will be.
That's the best win.
Logically, into much of the nation.
We said SMU was best win last year because Utah stunk. If Utah was good, that would have been the best win for sure.
Oh, man. Yeah. I understand everything that goes into that. I just couldn't settle on giving the credence to Utah being the best team that BYU beats on the schedule, even though it might actually be the case.
Yeah, what if Utah's 9-3, man?
Little rivalry factor in there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to BYU's true freshman quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, and his passing stats, specifically yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and completion percentage.
63%. 2,850 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks. This is what I have for Brother Bear Bachmeier.
So you expect BYU to be very aggressive in the passing game because last year, Jake Retzlaff had how many touchdown passes? 20? 12 interceptions?
Yeah.
Wow, so you think +5 there. Okay, yeah. I'm not very far off where you were with passing yards. I'm 2,800 passing yards. 21 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I think he's going to be a little more conservative than Jake Retzlaff was last year. 60% completion percentage, which frankly is more than 2% of an uptick from last year's numbers from Retzlaff.
Yeah.
Give me 60 plus and 2,800 yards in those numbers. BYU is going to be in good position to win a lot of games.
LJ Martin's rushing numbers. We go yards, touchdowns.
Well, after everything that has been said on the show recently, there's no way I'm not taking him over 1,000. 1,038 yards. He becomes BYU's first 1,000-yard rusher since Tyler Algier did it in 2021. 9 touchdowns. Surprisingly, Algier didn't find the end zone as much as I thought he would last year. I think he is there just about every regular season game on average of at least one. So 1,038 yards, 9 touchdowns. Where do you stand?
Of note, we don't consult with each other on what the numbers are before. I literally don't know what Spencer's going to go with, except that I know Spencer a little bit, and I could probably guess. But 1,068, so I'm just plus 30.
Okay.
11 touchdowns for LJ. Give him the rock more this year, and I think they will with the true freshman quarterback.
The fantasy football situation came into mind where I'm like, okay, if they're at the goal line, are they always? No, Bear Bachmeier is going to score some close to the goal line. He's going to steal some of those touchdowns from LJ Martin.
Think how much more effective RPO could be with Bear than maybe it was with Jake. Jake was a good runner. I think that Bear's going to be a better runner than Jake was.
Okay, let's go. That leads us to our next topic.
Yes, it does.
Second leading rusher.
Speaking of, so is it Bear or is it Sione Moa? That would be the argument here.
Okay.
I go with Bear Bachmeier. I think that Bear Bachmeier is going to outrush Jake Retzlaff from last year, including sack yards, net. So you have the gain, you have the loss, you have the net. Give me 418 net, 1 yard more than Jake had last year.
Woo. He very well might. Bear might outrush Jake and be the second leading rusher. I'm leaning on my guy Sione. 424 yards, but the number is very close. Okay? So I think Bear could be around 400, and Sione might just edge him out to be the second leading rusher. I hope it is a three-headed monster with LJ Martin, Sione Moa, and Bear Bachmeier, and that collectively, Jarom, they're pushing 2,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, and who knows what, Enoch Nawahine and Javessa Damuni contribute to that space. There's jet sweeps in the mix, so let's go. Okay, next up, Chase Roberts' receiving numbers. He's so obviously the number one. We just say, what's he going to do?
You need to find number 2 on the field.
Number 2 is number 1.
He was Still pretty good last year, even though BYU's passing numbers were rather modest. I don't see any way that BYU doesn't make it a point to get him the ball more, especially when you need multiple security blankets for Bear Bachmeier. He's the #1 receiving security blanket, in my opinion. 60 catches, 921 yards, 6 touchdowns. Doesn't get to the 1,000-yard mark, but he does take a big step forward in catches and receiving yards, and a little uptick in touchdowns, Jarom.
We're very similar. I go 65, 917, 6.
Okay.
Very close. Very close. He's going to have a monster year. I think he could totally go for 1,000. Hopefully, all these guys are healthy, of course, with him.
Second leading receiver. Last year, keep in mind, it was Darius Lassiter with 703. Chase was over 800. So who's the second leading receiver?
Carson Ryan, 35 catches. Fo, as Moses Malone once said, and 5 touchdowns. Carson Ryan,
the tight end.
UCLA and Utah tight end. BYU throws to the tight end again.
Jarom, 444 yards would be almost double what the entire tight end room did collectively last year.
Yeah, and Carson's looking for an opportunity. It's his time. Go check out his day in the life. It was really funny.
Yeah, really, really well put together, that social media bit. Second leading receiver is JoJo Phillips.
Nice.
I think he goes just a hair over 500 yards, 502
Love it.
for JoJo Phillips with his big playmaking ability. I think we're going to see some long passes and long touchdowns specifically to JoJo. He's faster. His hands have improved. Really, really like what he can bring.
Non-quarterback touchdown pass, question mark?
Yes, it's Aaron Roderick. He's the master of chess, of setting up the trick play. Almost mundane. Run the same play, the same form, and then you get the defense to cheat up, and then you throw the trick play at them. That's going to happen. It's probably going to be Parker Kingston.
Agreed.
Would it be anybody else? Why would it be anybody else?
He has 3 touchdown passes in his career.
Okay. Longest play from scrimmage. Last year was only 62 yards.
Give me a 70-yard touchdown to Chase Roberts.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a touchdown per se, but give me a 70-yarder to Chase.
70?
Yeah.
I said 72 yards.
Oh, dear.
I don't know who it's going to be. It might be
$1.
JoJo Phillips. It might be JoJo.
It might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, what if it's 71? That would be really funny. That would be really funny. Okay, third down conversion percentage.
Last year was really bad. 37%. We talked about this yesterday.
Yep.
I think BYU will be better, but there is still that third and fourth down mindset that Aaron Roderick has. So I don't think it's going to be dramatically better. 44%, up 7%.
I go 43. So anything under I get, I guess.
Total touchdowns. There
Yeah.
were 48 that BYU scored in all capacities last year.
Yeah, give me 45. The reason it's just down a touch is because BYU had 7 non-offensive touchdowns last year, 5 returns, kick and punt, 2 defensive. Give me 45. Just down a touch, but still a good number.
We're dead on here. 45.
Oh, boo!
45
Can
touchdowns.
I change mine just so we're different? I'll go 46.
You don't have to. What if we both guess 45 and it's 45?
I don't want to. The chance of that's so low. Give me 46. My official number is 46. I'm changing.
We're halfway through our 25 predictions for the 2025 season on BYU Sports
Not
Nation.
bad. We did a bunch, and we only had the same thing once.
Hey, I am Spencer Linton alongside Jarom Jordan. We are halfway through our predictions and hop right back in with an emphasis on defense and special teams. Beginning with who's going to be BYU's leading tackler. Last year it was Isaiah Glasker with 70.
Same guy, more tackles. Isaiah Glasker, 80 tackles. I think he has a bigger imprint on this defense this year. He is a future NFL guy. Can't wait to watch his senior year. BYU's lucky they got him back.
We don't differ in the player. I just think he has 74, and I think it's because Siale Esera is going to be right there with him. I think Siale is going to take some of those tackles away from Isaiah Glasker.
Frankly, that's a low number for the leading tackler. Max Tooley had 92. You know, it could be a safety that comes up. You don't want your safety as a leading tackler, though, just saying. You want it to be a backer.
Didn't Wani Unga have like 114 tackles?
I think it was 1,000. It was amazing.
Back in 2014 or whatever.
Who's going to lead in sacks?
It's hard for me to go away, especially knowing what we know about the edges being watched by Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasker, to go away from one of those guys. I'm going to go with last year's sack leader, Jack Kelly. He had 5. It's not that much of it. It's just up 1. He's going to be the sack leader with 6 this season.
Jack Kelly, 8. I know he wants to get 10. He told people at Football Media Day that in Arlington. So give me 8.
TFLs, I think, will be up across the board from all of the BYU defense. Hopefully they can just rush quarterbacks into dumb decisions.
Yeah, and they did that a lot last year. I would say they hurried quarterbacks
Yes.
a lot to throw picks.
Who's your interceptions leader from a group that collectively was #1 in the nation last year?
Yeah, Ainsworth, right, with 22. Give me Raider DeMooney with 4. Outstanding receiver at Timpview. He's going to be a ball hawk with more playing time this year. At strong safety, Raider DeMooney with 4.
I'm going with my captain of the safeties, Tanner Wall. He had 3 last year, tied with Glasker and Robinson. I think he goes up 1. 4 for Tanner Wall to lead BYU individually in interceptions.
That pick against Arizona was one of the best plays.
It changed the game.
It was incredible.
It changed the game.
You meet and talk to Tanner, and he's like the nicest, kind of calmest guy. When he's out there on the field, though, incredibly cerebral. He keeps that calm. He makes plays, which is awesome. Total sacks.
Oh, man. This is a number where I feel like BYU can and should be better.
Yes.
But I don't know if it will be. I just think that their defense is set up to just cause a lot of chaos. I don't know if like the sack number is just going to all of a sudden be higher. So, again, I'm going with 20. 20 sacks.
Same number.
Same number.
They had 11 the year before, by the way. That was crazy. That was stupid low. Give me 27. I think Keanu Tanuvasa creates a lot of havoc that leads to more.
Yeah, what scheme and what wrinkles does Jay Hill have drawn up to try and help that number? And
4-3. You go 3-3-5 at times. You go 4-2-5 with the nickel. He blitzes from any position. I mean, Jay Hill, he has complete diversity of blitzes in his playbook. It's very fun to watch.
Hopefully that pays off for more sacks.
Yeah,
I hope they're closer to your number.
And sacks are somewhat overrated because what you want is havoc in various forms.
And that's what Jay has said.
Yes. Kelly Popenga said as much to me, too. Like, we're not as big on the sack number as the average person is.
Sure. Okay. Total interceptions. This is a loaded question because BYU was #1 in the country last year with 22.
Give me 19. I think they're going to have a lot. It's not going to be the same number, but they're going to have more sacks, so you're not going to have as many kind of pass attempts like this. But I do think BYU has a lot. 22 is enough to be #1 in the country.
They'll have another good number. I'm not as high as you, 17 interceptions, which again, I still think is a really nice number for this BYU defense. Hopefully they can get close to what they did last year, but naturally, I think there will be a regression to the mean this year, and 17 is the number.
Yeah, losing Jacob Robinson, Mark Collins, Crew Wakely, those were all guys that were picking off passes and playing good defense. BYU likes the people behind him, though. Okay, total takeaways, because last year was 29th, third in the country.
Yes,
29
so
total.
22 of those 29 takeaways were the interceptions. I think the BYU will find a way to punch the ball a little bit more. They'll be more physical. So I've got 26 total takeaways, the 17 interceptions plus the 9 others. How about you?
I got 24 total takeaways. So still a good number, 5 fumble recoveries, 19 picks.
Okay, on to defensive touchdowns. When I was thinking about last year, initially I thought it felt like there was like 5.
It did feel like there were 5. There were 2. It was Isaiah Glasker,
yes,
and it was Tommy Press.
They didn't house it a ton per se, but they got close.
Almost
yes,
house it. Was it Oklahoma State, I think?
Half-yard line.
Yeah. So
they
that
were
would have been
close
3.
a few times.
That's how good that defense was. It felt like they scored a bunch. And frankly, when you have 5 returns, Spencer, and the punt-safe punt return from Parker Kingston, that was the defense on the field with Parker. That felt like a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, and the onside kick attempt that turned into a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Talon Alfred scores.
Defensive guy scoring.
Yes.
So that's why I was like, man, it felt like they had way more than 2.
So 3 defenders scored of those 7.
But only 2 defensive
non-offensive
touchdowns. Yeah. I still think they're going to go +1 here. 3 defensive touchdowns.
Oh, you go 3. Okay, I go 1. They have 1. But they're gonna create havoc and set up the offense quite a bit for short fields.
It'll probably be close to what last year was with the 2, but why not? Be ambitious.
What if they're like, we get 5? We didn't anticipate 5 returns for touchdowns last year.
That was incredible.
How about the best player on the team at his position? Will Farron made field goals and long.
He's going to make 12 field goals this season.
That's it? They're just going to punch it in the red zone all the time?
They're going to be so good.
Only 12?
12 for Will Farron. You think there'll be more? See, I'm like 1 a game.
12 is so few.
1 a game.
Oh, trust me, I like touchdowns more than field goals. Don't get me wrong, we all do.
Just feel like they're going to be more efficient. Okay?
Long of?
57.
Oh, I say that too. He sets the record.
New BYU record.
He gets the record.
He breaks Owen Potchman's record from 56 yards.
They get to the 40. It's a third down. I hope they throw an incompletion. Will Ferrin comes out. He gets the record finally. He deserves that. I go 21 of 24. Kind of a similar number to what he had last year. He made 24-27. Yeah, trust me, I would love fewer field goals. I hope it's 0.
The coaches talked about that.
But you will have field goals.
They said it is incredible to have someone as consistent as Will back there. We love that. We would like to use him less.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. No one's rooting for Will Ferrin to run out there. You know what I mean? Like, there are
Unless
moments,
it's the final play of the game to beat Utah.
but you would have loved to just score a touchdown. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Will is money. So when he comes out there, we all feel confident.
All right. Okay. Kick or punt return touchdown happens? Yes or no?
Okay. Last year there were 5. 3 kick, 2 punt. I'm saying there's none. I'm saying there's none.
0.
I would love, trust me, I would love 5 again. I'm just going back to the none thing. It was an anomaly. I hope it wasn't an anomaly, but I'm just predicting 0.
I feel like BYU special teams are so good under Kelly Papinga. They'll have something drawn up. There will be one.
At least one. You know what? That sounds great. You're probably going to win this. Okay, will there be a safety?
No. No safety.
I say no as well. No safety.
Those are tough to come by, especially with some kickoff rules. Like, you have to have an offense pinned super deep.
Yeah, it's hard to get a safety.
And it's harder to do that in this day and age with certain rules in play and whatnot. Okay. Successful onside kick for BYU.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. They had a successful one against Colorado. They didn't defend. They initiated, and it was great. I think there is one.
There's going to be a sneak attack somewhere.
Why do I think there's going to be an onside kick, but not a punt or kick return touchdown? That's kind of weird. Because this feels more aggressive. Yeah. Okay.
There's going to be a sneak attack somewhere from Kelly Papinga.
Exactly. Okay. What's your boldest guarantee this year?
Okay. And maybe this isn't bold enough, because I waffled. I was like, how do I make this more bold? But ultimately, I came back to, no, that it's bold enough. BYU will be ranked in the AP Top 25 for at least half of the season.
Oh.
At least half of the season.
That's a good one.
They'll be in the top 25.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
Let's go. Okay, my boldest guarantee is BYU will finish top 5 in the Big 12. I think 6-3 gets them in a top 5 spot in the Big 12, which is notable with a true freshman quarterback.
Frankly, if BYU finishes top 5 in the Big 12 standings, thinking about bowl tie-ins and kind of how those chips fall, generally speaking, BYU could go back to the Alamo Bowl if they finish in the top 5.
That's why I put Liberty.
If 2 Big 12 teams, especially if 2 Big 12 teams somehow get to the college football playoff,
then they slide up even more.
Then BYU's in the Alamo Bowl or maybe the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That'd be nice because they're a draw. Like, every bowl committee knows BYU's fans travel.
Yeah.
And they buy tickets. They spend money.
Sometimes they just live there.
And sometimes they just live close to the area.
Colonization. Thank Brigham Young for that.
Yes. And by travel, I mean they travel from 8 hours of wherever the game is.